Hello, Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are located in Old Montgomery on Montgomery Road, and we're open 5 days a week. Another day is for appointments. And we do work on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I also write a monthly blog. And as I have asked before, please do subscribe. It's important to us. It allows us to make advancements in what we're doing. I got an interesting request from one of the viewers of the YouTube channel. He thought it would be interesting to see what I thought were the classic audio pieces. Now, classic audio pieces are not necessarily only extreme audiophile products. These are products that are kind of like iconic. And we just happened to receive one which is kind of iconic, which was the original CD player brought to the American market from Sony, the CDP-101. And amazingly, we have a working remote. We still have to work on this puppy to get her alive again. But this is an example of a classic piece. Other pieces that come to mind, and I owned them, and in fact, I will actually get to see my original set in a few weeks, are the Quad ESL 57s, which I restored with the assistance of the original Real Quad company. And that's a classic design by any stretch of the imagination. Absolutely wonderful mid-range. It had limitations in the upper and lower frequencies, but what you received out of it was just absolutely wonderful. Which led me from that speaker to what I consider another classic, which was the original Martin Logan CLS speaker. I consider that one a classic in a more state-of-the-art electrostatic design because they no longer had to have protective covering over the stator panel to keep it from shorting out from dust and dirt. So it was a real step forward in the electrostatic industry. I have to go back and think of my early audiophile days, and I would be remiss not to include the Audio Research SP3A, which for years was kind of the benchmark for preamplifiers. To the extent that when they got so old, and of course some people nibbled with them with modifications, Audio Research is like, are we always only going to see these things for service? And it's a classic design. It's not state-of-the-art, but it's a good example of a real step forward in our day. There are unquestionably pieces that I've owned, the Marantz Model 9s and the 7C. Those are classic pieces. The original Model 9s are absolutely wonderful with the Mullards, and I actually combined those with the Quad ESLs. And I have regrets about parting with those. The folks over at Macintosh, the 240, the 275, the 78 tuner. Those are all classics in their design. Some people in the tuner industry would think of the 10B out of Marantz, but there are also tuners like Sokara's tuner, which was a spectacular piece. And I had the pleasure here in Cincinnati of sitting with the founder of WGUC, Mr. Wood, in his studio while he was using the tuner to look at the poor quality of his competition and what they were transmitting. So it was really a neat piece. I myself, when it comes to classic tuners in the older style, one of my favorite values out there is out of Sansui, the TU-717. Extraordinarily musical and buried many, many contemporary tuners at that time, and also quite a few others. I would take a TU-717 over a Yamaha CT-7000 any day of the week in sheer musical capability. So I consider those classics. Wow, I mean, there's so many. If I wander over into the speaker world, who could not remember the Klipsch K-horns? I mean, they were everywhere, and everybody tried to compete against them. Um, and Altec Lansing, you had the voice of the theaters. We can't forget, the JBL 100s. And of course, the other one that's still a favorite to this day are the 4212s, studio monitors. People are in love with those. And they're still fetching solid money to this day. I had the privilege of seeing some of the earlier, more professional JBL speakers with the Prism tweeters. There's one for you to look up. And so the classics, there's just some models that just have left such a strong impression in their performance or presence that they become these sort of icons in the market. Now, what I'd like, the rest of you to do who are watching this video is please contribute what you think are other classic models that I haven't mentioned, because there's so many wonderful product out there historically that I would be, incapable of remembering them all. There's just a lot of them. I consider, what's known as a Sinfonia, which was a large metal disc and basically a giant music box, as being an absolute classical piece of musical presentation. And if you ever get to hear one, do it. They're magic. They're absolutely magic. So there are a lot of products like that. Go, bring them up. Let me know what you think are truly classicals. I don't mean to forget anybody or exclude anybody. There was a really challenging question to say, wow, who could I all remember and enjoy? So let me know what you think. I really would enjoy it. Let others, come on in, make your suggestions, and there's no wrong answer, okay? Even if it was something as simple as, if you think, a Pioneer SX 727 or 737 was a reference, a classic piece, that's fine. I want to see what you find as well. So let's have some fun with this one. Thanks.